I know is how to be famous. I really want to be back on television.
You're gonna be back on TV. That's easy. My mom.
All at this point, it's obvious that how to be renowned, I truly need to be back on TV. You will be back on television, that is simple. My mother has worked really hard causing it to appear as though all is great. I have no cash, and I will let you something know if it happens to me, it could happen. To you, right when we figured things couldn't deteriorate for Miss Wendy Williams. She just had a significant breakdown uncovering that she is presently poor and destitute clearly. Wendy has been battling for nearly 2 years now and needed to move out of her lavish New York penthouse to go live in Florida with her child. Now, this was a significant shock to many individuals since Wendy was rounding up more than $100 million consistently from the Wendy Williams show as a primary. Concern you, the show was running on television for north of 12 years, that is in a real sense more than $120 million. So how in the world she end up broke? Well, many individuals, including her mom and her child, are guaranteed that the monetary gatekeeper who decided to deal with her funds has been fumbling her assets and furtively taking all her cash. There have been irregular individuals around you taking cash from me, getting cash regardless sufficient. Now in the event that you've been staying aware of Wendy over the recent months, then, at that point, you've presumably heard a smidgen about her funds being not doing so well because of her not being adequately sound to deal with herself. The reports about her striving began in February of 2022, when Wells Fargo chose to freeze Wendy's ledgers, since she was all out of sound mind to deal with her own cash. Only a couple of months after that, she was tossed into recovery queues. She was generally disliking her drinking, yet engaging her 10 years old dependence on nose treats. A source exceptionally near Wendy, who stood up to the U.S. child, said her group has not been paid since these records were closed. Her director is moderately new, yet there are individuals who have been working for her this whole time, and they ain't seen a dime since those records were shut. Either individuals have been drifting their administrations to Wendy for a really long time now. During this time, she was additionally given a transitory monetary gatekeeper, Sabrina Morrissey. Sabrina is essentially the person who controls Wendy's cash and concludes the amount Wendy will spend each month. That was likewise around a similar time her sequential deceiving ex Kevin Tracker chose to sue her for being behind on her all-along installments. The explanation she couldn't pay him the divorce settlement installments is because she ain't even in charge of her own cash. It's undeniably secured up and overseen by a total outsider. As a matter of fact, Wendy's child had a sit-down interview with the U.S. child, and he uncovered that Wendy was being exploited by her monetary gatekeeper and her whole group. He blamed them for not focusing on her well-being, and furthermore just being centered around taking advantage of her so she could get them some more cash flow. He said, I realized there are a wide range of things happening that I know sane she could never consent to, however hard as it could be seeing her being exploited. I know that in the event that I'm ensuring she's okay as an individual is okay, that is the main thing, on the grounds that at last she will understand the wildness that has been going on. He added, what's been made more significant by individuals around her is that while her well-being may not be extraordinary, she really wants to continue to procure pay. And as I would see it, that ought not be vital by any stretch of the imagination. And whoever's been recruited, they're exploiting somebody who requirements to get better now. After this dangerous meeting we hear a lot of about Wendy again, wasn't even spotted out around by any stretch of the imagination by any paparazzi that was until half a month prior, when her BFF Miss Jones uncovered on her public broadcast that she as of late went to visit Wendy at her New York penthouse, yet was educated by the custodian that she had moved to Florida to move with her child since her well-being had deteriorated. So yesterday, Wayne made me proceed to visit Wendy Williams. I made you go, you all. Everyone was in on it. You realize I saw it did, cause I continued to say, did you go? Did you go? Did you go? And I continued putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Better believe it. So I pulled up to some unacceptable structure. It's been brief, I know, and I needed to walk, yet it was okay. Thus I arrive. I go inside the entryway, individuals welcome me and all. And I said, this may be in obscurity, sir, yet I'm here to visit Wendy. You're several months late. Wow. She moved, and I said, and he goes, no doubt. That is all I can tell you. So you realize I begin prying. I'm like, very much. Did they sell the unit? Is it available? Cuz this was a fantastic duplex MHA and the structure she was residing in with Now I could perceive you folks. It should be an in initially and afterward. Co-hit, and they couldn't clearly. Nobody should be an in, so they sold it, and she let me know the amount she paid for itself, and I was that way was such a take. It was wonderful 2-story 3-room unit. So I thank you, sir, and afterward I go and I search for the others that you realize live in the structure, work in the structure, begin sleuthing. That's right. And I got my detective on, and they said, well, you understand. What happened, she was getting better. She was coming near, and afterward she began becoming ill once more, and on the grounds that her family's in Florida, right? And individuals were coming in her circle that they were curious about, and they didn't realize, like you realize, they couldn't gain admittance to her when they needed. They dropped down to Florida, so she is supposedly down in Florida with her child recovering okay. No doubt, well, we wish her, we in all actuality do wish her well, only a couple of deaths. As after Miss Jones dropped this significant sensation, Lifetime dropped an unstable trailer for Wendy's impending 2-section narrative. This narrative will detail all that Wendy's ultimately depended on the beyond couple of years. The trailer promptly sent the web into a furor, since Wendy and her whole family were spilling some significant tea. It got going with Wendy discussing how she generally needed to be renowned since she was 6 years of age. From 6 years of age, all I needed was to be popular. Okay, the manager is strolling everyone. No one can do it like Wendy. Nobody. Individuals love Wendy. You are a star. She wasn't lounge each and every day for quite a long time. That's right. I surmise that will do. And that is the thing. Individuals answered her validness, and afterward, at the pinnacle of her profession, she was gone anyway. Things immediately got dim on the grounds that when they saw a couple of confession booth cuts from the narrative where Wendy had a significant breakdown while discussing individuals who were intended to safeguard her and said they've just taken advantage of her for the beyond couple of years. She additionally uncovered that she's presently seriously broke and has no cash to her name at the end of the day. It's obvious that how to be renowned, I truly need to be back on TV. You will be back on television. That is not difficult to see whether I'm insane. Mom, well, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I need to plunk down again. I have no cash, and I will let you something know. If it happens to me, it could happen to you. I miss my family, arbitrary individuals around you taking cash from me, getting cash in any event sufficient. Her sister and her child, Kevin. Jor additionally discussed how totally uncalled for it was that Wendy's cash and her whole vocation are being overseen by a total more peculiar who couldn't have cared less about Wendy. My mother has worked really hard, causing it to appear as though all is great generally. When do you ensure you look here? 1, 2, 3. Yet, actually, there's something off base happening. As her family, we were all remaining uninvolved watching, and she was shouting out for help. Did you drink this entire situation today? Keep it there, okay? Keep it there. My mother, she generally discusses how she needs to function, yet I feel like she's worked enough. She has individuals around who are lackeys, and permitting this to proceed with this is very much go diggy. I have no clue about where we are. This doesn't seem as though anything natural, I believe. Yeah, she's terrible memory. Have you all seen that? How dare him? I control me. I weigh 138. Anyone could take a gander at her and tell this isn't only a lull. There's something really going on. How frequently someone might tumble down. You got to lift them back up. We as a whole pursue decisions in life. We as a whole go through our difficulties. She's as yet an individual. No. I don't have the foggiest idea about the specific area of where she is. I feel like the watchman has not worked effectively of safeguarding my mother, my life right currently. She's powerless and defenseless, and she should associate with individuals who won't exploit that. I have no companions. You know the number of individuals that emerge to help. You know the number of individuals that adoration. You know, I don't. Everything will. BB, I realize I feel that the guardianship framework is broken. We are her family, and you let me know that I'm not fit for dealing with my sister. How might you respond? How would it be advisable for me? I respond, so as you all can see, Wendy's been going through some serious hardship for a hot moment at this point, and it doesn't seem to be things gotten any better for her beside the way that she's scarcely bringing in any cash right now since her show has dropped. The minimal expenditure that she had piled up is additionally being overseen by a total